Let's now revisit the Kwashieman fire outbreak, and we have in our studios a member of the Public Relations Office of the Ghana National Fire Service, ADO1, Alex Kenati, to update us on what happened this morning. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
I know investigations are still ongoing, but just give us a brief on what you've picked up so far.
Okay, so a brief of what happened is that around 12:30 we received a call about a fire at Kwashieman cluster of schools. Initially, we thought it was just a landmark to where the fire was until our officers got there and realized that it was actually the school itself that was engulfed in the fire. So they had to call for reinforcements from our national headquarters and then also from Circle to complement them. So as at almost 4 a.m., they were able to finally put the fire out completely. There was a little reignition this morning, and so with what we've picked up, we started our investigations once we started fighting. The popular notion or the preliminary investigations is pointing to arson, but we are yet to carry out a full-scale investigation to confirm truly if it is arson or it could have probably been an electrical fault or negligence that probably could have just been a coincidence with the fire. So we are, as a service, we are not leaving any stone unturned. We are committed to coming up with a very conclusive investigation that would leave no stone unturned, so that if truly it's confirmed that it's arson, we'll hand over our investigation to the police so that they will deal with the perpetrators according to the law.
How serious was this morning's or this dawn's fire outbreak at the school?
So it's quite serious because in the fire service, when we have more than one fire tender at a scene, it means that it's a serious fire. So for us to have 3 fire tenders at the scene shows that it was a very serious fire that we had to deal with. And our utmost priority was, one, to make sure that we don't record any casualty, be it civilian or firefighter casualty. And we're able to successfully do that. We're able to also contain the fire from spreading out of hand. Let me paint a picture. It was a 3-story building. So the ground floor is the library, where the unspecified number of ballot boxes were kept. So that place is where the fire started and then spread. So that the library got totally bent, and its content was totally bent.
Were you able to salvage anything from there? Because we are told that the Kwashieman North constituency ballot boxes were housed at that particular place.
So there we couldn't salvage anything. It was totally bent. But then at least if we couldn't salvage the ballot boxes, at least the school children still have to learn. Yeah. So we made efforts to salvage their computers that they used. There are about 15 or so computers, so we were able to salvage them. Their desk that they use, we were able to salvage the desk. So unfortunately, the books and then the ballot boxes got bent because obviously that's where the fire started. And then in our investigation, if we would realize the accelerants they might have probably used, that might have probably made the fire spread way beyond what we expected. So in that case, and you see, for fire to start, 3 things come into contact in its rightful proportion: heat, fuel, and oxygen. So in this case, the ballot boxes were fuel, and there were abundance of fuel in there. The boxes are plastic, they are fuel, the papers. Books, furniture, everything in there, there's abundance of fuel. And so the spread of fire becomes rapid. We also, during our investigation, when we went around, realized that people had kept, someone had deliberately taken out some ballot papers, this time not in a box, papers, and then deliberately added a car tire to it and bent it at the back. So when we got there, we realized that some of the things were bent.
Can you confirm that those boxes were part of the Kwashieman North constituency ballot boxes?
We can't confirm it because they were bent, so they were defaced. But we could tell that they were time-printed ballot boxes, ballot papers. Exactly. So logically, since it's close to where this fire happened, it's safe to say that it was part of the ballot papers that were bent in the library of the school.
Mr. Alex Ken, I want to understand. We've experienced pockets of violence after the elections. We have fire outbreaks at Damango, at Tepa, at Sunyai South, certain areas. Why didn't you put in any preventive measures at where we have some of these disputed ballot boxes that are being stored?
You see, as a service, we've never been shy to admit the fact that we are under-resourced. We've never been shy to admit it. And so we need, as a service, we've put in measures in place, trust me. But then we can't also say that we are committing a whole fire tender to a place. Because at the end of the day, this same fire tender is serving a larger community. So we can't deprive the larger community of fire covering because of this. But mind you, we have the EC warehouse at Abilinko. We have a fire tender stationed there. We have a fire tender stationed over there. This tender that attended to the fire at the Kwashieman, this same fire tender came from Anya. This fire tender serves Soto, Anya, Ablikuma, Wager, Bawi.
But now we have an issue at stake. That's what they are going to use to collect the results.
But
it's no longer available.
No, so then this should call into question more resources to be pumped into the Ghana National Fire Service. This should call into question more resources to be pumped into the Ghana National Fire Service, because then again, you see, we can't also look at the ballot papers at the detriment of the Ghanaians that we are supposed to serve. Yes, the ballot papers are also part of the Ghanaians that we are serving, you know, but then again, it's important that's so, you see, so as a precaution, we were able, our station was very close to the scene. Within 10 minutes, we got there. So it's almost as if getting them on standby. But then we can't commit a fire tender there because, how, you know, it's, so let's pray. If we get much more fire tenders in the future, we should be able to allocate more for such.
And another question, how effective is your collaboration with the police service in tackling some of these issues?
The police are brothers in uniform. Yesterday, they were there with us, you know, all through the night, and, you know, we had collaborative discussions with them. So obviously, once we, as I said, if our investigations prove that truly it was an arson, we will hand over to the police. So you realize that even with their press release they mentioned the fact that they are collaborating with us. So yes, we are collaborating with them so that if truly it's arson, the perpetrator should be brought to book.
Is it true that the students are writing their end-of-term examination? Is that going to disrupt the...
Definitely, it will disrupt. When I spoke to the teacher at the place, at the school, he mentioned that they were supposed to go on vacation on Thursday.
Wow.
And that they were still writing exams. So unfortunately, the exam papers, I think, were also stored within the same places that got burned. So I think they'll find a way around it, unfortunately.
Finally, what are some of the new measures your outfit is putting in place to improve the detection and suppression of fires in the country?
So one thing we've done for the past few weeks is to embark on regular night patrols. Yes, so our stations in Accra, Tema and beyond have all identified volatile areas, especially markets, areas in their place. So in the evenings, they embark on night patrols to try and identify fire hazards and try and nip it in the bud so that it doesn't become a fully developed fire. We've intensified our education to engage, you know, just as we are doing here, we're engaging a lot of media outlets to be able to spread the news, because, as I said, we are pressed for logistics and all. We are doing our best to enhance our education so we reduce the rate of fire so that at least we'll be able to serve the good people of Ghana well.
Mr. Alex King, thank you so much for this update. I've been speaking with ADO1 Alex Kenati on the fire outbreak that happened this dawn at Kwashieman cluster of schools. Moving on, long working hours, insufficient resources, low salaries. These are challenges that compel professionals in the health sector, especially nurses, to explore opportunities in other countries. The president of the association, Perpetua Furi Ampofo, disclosed in an interview with GBC News that this alarming trend is not a new phenomenon, but with better conditions of service and good remuneration, the situation could be reversed. She was speaking in an interview with GBC News on the association's expectations of the incoming administration for the health sector.